What's going on, guys? I am at the new Pittsburgh International Airport. We literally just drove in. We're in the parking lot right now. Behind me is the old terminal, the old airport terminal. You'd kind of check in, go through your bags, that kind of stuff in TSA. The airport, the existing airport, was really old. It was built for US Airways, so they basically modernized it, built a whole new landside terminal where you kind of check in and then come back from your flight. It's connected to the current X design that was built many years ago back in the 90s. So I actually toured it, the old terminal. You know, I grew up flying out of this airport, but I actually went back and revisited what the old landside terminal looked like. But if you're not interested in that, you kind of just want to see the brand new airport terminal, skip to this time on the video and we're just going to walk right into the new terminal. But let's actually go back and tour what the old airport terminal, the old landside terminal looked like. What's going on, guys? So right now I'm at the current Pittsburgh International Airport, now the old airport terminal. This is the landside terminal right here. It's a beautiful sunny day, but this is the departures area here. It's pretty empty right now. There's actually two departures. This is for, I believe, commercial vehicles, so like Ubers, shuttles, that kind of stuff, and then there's a regular departures for just normal people dropping you off. It's kind of an interesting system how the current one works, but you kind of resulted in like this empty, very barren departures area. As you can see, it's very old here. This is very like 1980s, 1990s style architecture. So basically this terminal right here was built kind of on the smaller side because the main part of the airport was built for a US Airways hub, which does not exist anymore. So right behind me is actually, you can kind of see it, this is the new parking garage, and back there is the new terminal, which right now I don't have access to because it's a week before the new airport terminal actually opened. You can see kind of how old some of this airport check-in stuff is. I don't even think they use this anymore. This is kind of like curbside, but as you can look around, this is kind of like the main departures drop-off area. Very old, as you can see. You can actually get a pretty good glimpse of the new terminal right there. That's actually about maybe about half a mile away. So it's pretty cool. We'll be there next week. So right now we're walking into the new terminal. This is what it looks like here. This is the existing structure of the landside terminal where you kind of come in, check in over there to the right, and eventually head to the main gates where the actual airplanes are at. Kind of old. It's kind of a cool structure up here with the glass and the natural light coming in, but it's very outdated. So the current terminal, the landside terminal where you check in, has a big problem with security. It was not built to handle Pittsburgh security. Like I mentioned, US Airways, it was kind of built for them. So to this day, security, and I've experienced this myself, security gets extremely backed up. So yeah, you can see the main part of the building right here behind me, kind of like the glass and the natural light coming in. It's a cool structure. I'm definitely gonna miss it. This red color, I've always liked growing up and kind of being in the terminal. You can see right there like the old kind of plaque and signage for the airlines right now. It's going to be with new updated signs in the new terminal. Yeah, let's just walk down the terminal here. And we have this kind of cool art looking Pittsburgh structure that's always been here. I don't know what they're doing with this. It's actually kind of cool. It's like this bridges and yellow. If you're from the city, it just looks like very familiar. So yeah, this is basically the rest of everything here. A lot of sunlight, which is cool. I'm sure the new terminal will have a lot of natural sunlight as well. This is where you check in here, kind of put your bags. It's kind of just all over the place. It's kind of cramped right now. It's not very open, other than kind of like the ceiling here. You can get the old tile floors, which is kind of cool, and I'm definitely gonna miss. But as you kind of walk through, you kind of see how old it is and everything. So this right here is the other departures area I mentioned. This is if you're getting dropped off by family or friends, and you can kind of just get dropped off right here. It's basically the same as the other side, just a little bit more crowd, a little bit more people. But this is the view right here. There's a hotel, kind of just like a seating area there, but it's relatively the same design as well. So we can kind of walk back into the terminal. This is, again, the main entrance you see when coming into the airport right now, getting dropped off by family or friends. So you kind of walk in here, and this is the main entrance, really, to the current landside terminal. And it's kind of confusing which way to go. You have, how's it going? How are you? You kind of are confused which way to go. You have certain airlines over here, and then you also have certain airlines over this way. So you kind of just have to know where you're going. There's obviously a departures and arrivals board there, but it's not, other than this one space here, it's not super open. And also the security is on a completely different floor. So speaking of security, this is down here. I mentioned it's on a completely different floor. So the airlines check-ins are over here, like we've seen. Then you take this escalator down. You have this cool Pittsburgh bridge. This is one of the sister bridges downtown, looking structure over this Dunkin' Donuts, which we will not see in the new terminal. But this is the current security. It's not bad right now, but you can see how it can get very, very congested. The line will actually wrap underneath this and go really far back into where the parking is. So right now you basically kind of walk in on this level here, have to either take an elevator down or the escalator right here and go to a completely different floor to go through security. And actually behind there, I'm not going to show it in this part of the video because I actually do not have an airline ticket today, but you actually take a train to go to the gates about a mile away. And that's the big inefficiency of the current terminal, is the fact that you do have to take a train literally a mile away to get to your gate. So when you're coming back in, getting your bags, and also trying to head out, it takes a long time and it's really inefficient. It can back up, especially through security, like I just mentioned. It's also really expensive to actually take a train a mile away to your gate. You know, for the last 20, 30 years, that's been a huge, huge upkeep cost, and they're just finally getting rid of it. Like I mentioned, I'm not showing this in this video. I've ridden it many times growing up, and up to this day, flying out on different airlines and going to different places, but I do not have a ticket right now, so I will not be going in the train to the terminal. Actually, I'm never again going in that train. I flew out of here, I think about 3 weeks ago was my last time. I didn't record a video of it, unfortunately, but that was the last time I'll ever be ridden on that train to the old airport. Now, another thing you can actually see through this window is that door over there, kind of hard to see, but this sliding door over there is an alternate security checkpoint, because a lot of times this current security, again, right now it's actually completely fine, but usually this will get, back out the door on like Monday mornings, Friday mornings, and on Saturdays. So this door right here actually is an alternate security checkpoint that is a really long hallway and basically would take you to another security checkpoint. So they're getting rid of that as well. Yes, these are just some more check-in counters here. This is British Airways, which is pretty cool. JetBlue, let's see, what's this? Breeze Airways. And then down here, it's kind of empty. It's not super crowded right now, but I've seen it really, really crowded here in the morning. This is Allegiant up here, and I've seen it like out the door at like 6 in the morning. So this is officially my last ever time in this old landside terminal. I grew up flying out of this airport and coming in to check in bags before our summer vacations or wherever we were going. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss this place, but the new airport is gonna be amazing. Anyways, let's head down to security. Okay, so we're gonna head down to the existing security. Usually you gotta take these escalators down, again, to a different floor than the check-in process. At first glance, it's not too bad, but you can probably see how it gets super, super crowded here. You kind of are limited by this elevator here, and you kind of have to go back this way to wait in line unless you have like pre-check or clear or something like that. And you can actually see people back there getting out of the current train. So yeah, right behind me is the current security. It's not bad right now, but it's literally the middle of the day on like a Thursday. So right here is just kind of like a waiting area. We're actually gonna head downstairs to the current baggage claim. It's literally down these stairs right here, but it's all on 3 different floors: your security, your baggage claim, and your check-in, which is going to be more streamlined in the new terminal. So if we head down here, this will take us to baggage claim. Okay, so we get our first glance of the current baggage claim. There's some down there to the right and then some down there to the left. Okay, so right now I'm on the current baggage claim level, I guess now the old baggage claim level, but there's carousels here on my right and on my left. It's kind of a smaller space down here, and the problem with these carousels right now is the fact that your bags have to come from over a mile away, like I mentioned. I think the current setup is that there's like 8 to 10 miles of baggage claim belts by the time your bag gets off of the airplane and then when you go to pick it up. A big problem with this system was the fact that it would take forever to get your bags. I remember coming back from anywhere, whether it was vacation or wherever. I tried not to check my bag, but whenever I did, we'd have to wait here forever, sometimes like an hour before you would get your bag. I remember I went skiing last winter, so obviously I checked my skis to go out there, and I think I literally waited an hour. And then, I remember my dad was like waiting outside to pick me up. It's like, okay, come on, where's your bag at? That's because of the fact that it has to come from over a mile away, but now it's just going to be in the same building. So the actual carousel itself is fine. I mean, This area is, they've redid it I think a few years ago, but it's still kind of old. I mean, the carpet's fine. Yeah, so basically your bags will come down from here, and then your typical conveyor belt, baggage belt here. There's a bunch of them around here actually. This is just one example. But they're always pretty empty down here, even when it's like super busy, a bunch of flights, because they kind of stack them up and get as much as they can. But I vividly remember just staying here for a while and kind of having to stand around, wait for your bags, because this actual belt just won't move. You know, by the time you actually get on the train and get to the baggage claim, it's way quicker than your bags actually will get here. So I mentioned the fact that like your bags have to travel on a belt all the way to get here. It's like 8 miles. So that's why you just always have to wait so long. So I'm hoping that the new airport, this will not be a problem at all. Okay, so let's go out to the current arrivals area. This is if you're leaving the airport after coming in from your flight back into Pittsburgh, or I guess you're coming here for the first time. I'm just used to coming back here. And yes, this is the arrivals section here. It's nothing crazy. It's kind of nice you get some light at the current one, because I think at the new terminal and a lot of other airports, usually this is all covered, but you actually get some light, which is nice. But yeah, it's nothing special. It can get really, really crowded down here, as you can imagine. And this bridge up here, I'm actually going to show a video from it right now. So this bridge up here actually will take you to the parking, and we're going to go up there next. But yeah, this is the baggage claim level, nothing crazy. This actually, everyone coming down here from these escalators over here is where you actually come from the current terminal, the airside terminal. And this is basically them getting off the train, which is above this level here. So this is coming back from your flight, landing into Pittsburgh or coming back home, and you come down these escalators here, and you basically meet your family down here and grab your bags. So yeah, it's my last time also in the baggage claim level. I will never be back here to grab a bag and have to wait forever, so thank God. But let's head back upstairs and I will show you where the current parking is. So the other entrance into the current landside terminal is this super long tunnel. And this is if you parked your car. You can either take a shuttle or you have to walk all the way on these moving walkways here. I've done it several times. Basically this goes probably like 3/4 of a mile back, and you kind of walk down through here to get to the existing terminal. So the tunnel to parking is all the way back here, and then the current landside terminal is right here. You can obviously tell it's very, very old. You kind of have this old carpet here. It's kind of cool because you get to walk down this super, super long structure and just kind of take the moving walkway. But if you're trying to get to parking, it can take quite a while. So yeah, I'll just walk through the current entrance into the terminal from parking. You kind of walk through here, you know, nothing crazy, just kind of your old architecture here. So a lot of times the security, I mentioned that it gets backed up. It'll literally be down this hallway, which is crazy. And if you look over to my right, you can overlook the arrivals and people getting picked up, that kind of stuff. So this is just another view of the arrivals. It's not bad right now, but like I mentioned, it's the middle of the day on a Thursday. They can get pretty backed up. So this is just a last overview of the outside structure here of the old landside terminal. It's crazy to say old because obviously right now and growing up, it's just kind of like the terminal I go into. But yeah, this is it here. These are the roads you kind of go up to the landside terminal. So I hope this was a good overview of the old landside terminal at the Pittsburgh International Airport. Kind of crazy. I will never be in this building ever again, so I'm kind of just trying to soak it in right now. Yeah, this is the overall structure right here. It's a really cool building. It's beautiful, but it's just too small for what Pittsburgh needs, and it was poorly designed. It gets really crowded. Kind of hard to see that now because it is the middle of the day on a weekday. But if you're from Pittsburgh, you know that the security and everything else gets absolutely chaotic. So this is kind of one last farewell to the landside terminal, and this is going to transition into the new Pittsburgh International Airport, which is behind me. So I will see you guys next week when I fly out of the new terminal. Okay, so like I said, we literally just parked. I'm here with my friend Garrett. We're flying to New York for the weekend, but we're gonna basically get on a shuttle. This used to just walk up to the old terminal over there, but we're gonna go ahead and get on a shuttle and go to the new terminal. So once we parked, it was pretty simple. We just walked over to the nearest shuttle stop. It was actually really nice. These were just recently built, and at first it said the bus was 16 minutes away, which wasn't true. It actually showed up within about 3 minutes. If you're parking out here, make sure to remember which shuttle stop you got on the bus at. You could almost instantly see the new terminal, and the bus ride overall was pretty quick. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
How's it going? Okay, so we just got dropped off from the shuttle on the arrivals level of the new terminal. We're walking in right now. crazy. So this is the arrivals level behind me. I'll show that when we actually come back from our trip, but we literally just got dropped off from the shuttle from parking right here on the arrivals level, and now we're gonna go up to departures. I know, it's really nice, dude. Yeah, you can already tell how much nicer this is than the old one. There's so much more space down here for the baggage claim.
Yeah.
The old one was cramped. Yeah, it was dark. Okay, so we're up on the departures level now. This is actually really nice, obviously. So this is all the airline check-in here. Just have like Delta, Breeze, American, Spirits over there. I think Allegiant, British Airways. And then, yeah, these are other check-in counters here. We already checked in, we're flying United, and I also do not have a bag to check, so we're just gonna walk straight to security. But just kind of taking it in here, this is huge. These tree columns here are supposed to represent kind of like the trees of Western PA, and then there's like the stars up here in the ceiling. It looks like wood, but this is actually metal sheets that kind of like represent and look like wood. Yeah, no, this is huge.
Boarding here. Let's go find a place to piss.
I know there's a restroom down here. We can go down there. So yeah, this is the entrance from departures level. We came in on arrivals, but it tells you when you come in which airlines or which direction to check in, and then there's also your flight departure boards, which actually look really cool. Those are nice and modern. And then this is kind of like the whole center piece here. It's actually really nice. So you have kind of some of the other airlines here. United's there, but like I said, we're not going to check in there right now. Let's see, Alaska, Icelandair, Frontier. Okay, just tested the restrooms back there. They were valid. Obviously it wasn't going to show the men's room, but yeah, we're going to head straight to security now. Kind of just taking it all in. This place is actually insane. It does not compare to the last airport, and obviously like seeing it on camera and on social media doesn't really do it full justice. You actually have to kind of come in here and just see the terminal. It's crazy. Let's look down here. I want to see what's down here. This is like a little cafe down here, and then you come out from your gates over there, which we'll come out there in a few days, and then back here's TSA. So far it's not too cramped or anything. It is the middle of the day on a Friday, which I feel like Fridays get kind of busy, but the old terminal would get really packed. Already it's super spacious, but we'll see what security is like.
Standard, right?
Yeah, it's going standard. Like I said, it's the middle of the day, but it's not packed at all in the security line. We're literally just walking straight, and no line so far. I kind of jinxed myself because there ended up being a line, but it wasn't long at all. It literally said 6 minutes on the board. It's nice it tells you how long to expect during the standard security line, and it went by pretty quick.
Hi, come on down, is everything?
So just got out of TSA. It was already way better than the old terminal. The old terminal was super cramped if you watched the portion earlier in this video. This is way open. You have kind of like the wide, tall ceilings here, but they also have updated equipment. So I didn't have to take my shoes off, didn't have to take anything out of the bag. The old airport had such old equipment, so it was really hectic, kind of like, you know, taking your shoes off, getting your laptop out of the bag. It was always a nightmare. All right, now I gotta find Garrett, and let's get to the gate. Bro's over there waiting. Yeah, they have a ton of lanes open. Super loud, but they have all this whole section here for TSA. The old terminal also only had like 3 or 4 lanes. It was also split into 2 different checkpoints. It was not good. Good? All right, so this is the entrance into the existing airside. This is to all gates here. Where we're rocking right now is supposed to simulate going into the city of Pittsburgh, like the Fort Pitt Tunnel. They kind of have like this long, narrow passageway. Look, Brothers Pitt. They got ads everywhere. I'm gonna speed up this section here, but walking into the existing airside terminal from TSA is really cool with this lighting and simulating the Fort Pitt Tunnel. So once you reach the end of this tunnel/hallway, you enter the existing airside core. If you traveled through this airport, you're probably familiar with this section already, but you're on the 2nd floor instead of downstairs where you used to come out. All right, this is the center core, which those of you familiar with the airport have obviously seen. This was in the existing airside. This is where all the gates are, and they updated all of this. This is all like a white ceiling here. The floor is the same, but they added escalators here and also over there. I don't know what they're doing over here. I guess they're probably still working on that elevator. Yeah, so you walk out of security down this tunnel right here where everyone's walking down. It's really cool. Like I said, it's supposed to simulate like the tunnel going into the city. And then the existing airside core is literally right here that you've all probably seen and flown through. All right, so I know they added some like additions to the existing airside. They pretty much like made it more modern to kind of like look like this white feel. And yeah, like this is still a work in progress. I guess they're working on some of the additions here, but this is where you used to take the train to the old landside terminal. So that's all closed up. Yeah, I think Franco used. I don't know. I think they moved Franco somewhere else.
They did. That's my picture.
Yeah. Are we going this way?
What are we, gate D?
I think we're A. So this right here is the departure board. It's actually really cool. It kind of has like this wood feature on the side, and believe it or not, this back part isn't on. So believe it or not, it was actually like made in Pittsburgh apparently, this wood on the side of the departure board here, so that's pretty cool. So as of me recording this video in the new terminal, I was here the week it opened. There's still some construction in the center core, kind of when you get closer to where you would go down to the old train. I mean, this makes sense. They obviously had to transition from the old terminal and the old logistics to the new one. Once you get to the gates, it's all relatively the same. They did update a lot of the new signs with screens, and also the bathrooms have been updated, which is really nice. Once you get to the end of the terminals, you can kind of see these older bathrooms, and some of it still needs updated, but I'm sure they'll do this as time goes on. Just grab one in there. All right. Okay, so we're gonna head to our gate now. We're going to New York City for the weekend. So I will see you guys when you get back, and I will show you the arrivals process into the new terminal. All right, so we literally just got off the plane after a few days of traveling. We're back in Pittsburgh. I'm gonna show you guys the new arrivals process into the new terminal. There's literally not a tram anymore, so it's kind of weird getting off the plane, not having to get onto the train. We're going to baggage claim. I guess actually we didn't check a bag, so we're kind of just going to that area. We parked here, like you saw earlier in the video, so we're gonna have to take the shuttle to the parking lot. It used to going down that way to take the train. It's all closed now.
Yeah.
So the new arrivals process is extremely straightforward. You basically just follow signs for baggage claim, of course, and you're led into this wide open space. Down there, I think that's going to be where international arrivals is. I'm not too sure though. But right above here is where you kind of walked into the airport, and you walk up these stairs, already getting ads for Pitt. It's a lot brighter than the old arrivals process going into the narrow station for the train. You walk through all these gates to get outside of the airside building, and that's literally it. So simple enough, we're already to the baggage claim area. It's literally right here. We just walked out of the existing airside, and no more train. It was that quick. So if you're wondering where the new Franco Harris statue is, it's right here, right past the arrivals process. But here's the thing, they got the score wrong. It was 13-7, not 12-7. Dude, I know, they could have put the dinosaur like
Right in the middle.
right in front of that cafe or something.
Instead of stupid Pitt Airport. Like, yeah, we know we're in the Pitt Airport.
Yeah, I know. Like, they're just, it's like, we know we've arrived. Once you walk further into the new terminal, it's such a wide open space. There's also this cafe right in the middle. And there's also this art piece that was in the old terminal. I don't remember what it was called, but this space is just beautiful. Immediately to your right and to your left are the baggage claim areas. There's a ton of them. Now, I didn't check a bag like I mentioned, so we didn't need to go over there. Again, the upstairs level is departures, but if you go downstairs, that'll take you to the terminal lot or the garage, as well as catching Ubers and other ground transportation. Again, we parked in the shuttle lot, so you literally just go straight to grab the bus. And also, this is the same level if friends and family were coming to pick you up. You literally just walk straight out of the airport. Now, we arrived the Sunday night before Thanksgiving, so look at this arrivals line. It was actually packed at the airport. Look how many people there are, and there was a huge line for the shuttle lot. Also, you can see the new terminal garage across the way. Soon enough, though, a shuttle came and it dropped us right back off where we parked. It was pretty simple and pretty quick. So believe it or not, I actually worked on this new airport 2 summers ago as a construction engineer intern. This picture was literally from my first ever day. There's a beautiful view of the airport. I just walked all over the job site, basically exploring the new terminal. Right there, you can see some of the new signage that we saw today. And this was a beautiful view of the airport. It was amazing. I don't know why I waited to the end of the video to talk about it now, but I thought this was a really cool experience. Not many people get to say they worked on a brand new airport. I have a ton of clips I never got to publicly share until now because obviously the airport's open. This, for example, is a bridge being poured for the new roadways. Anyways, thanks for watching this tour of the new Pittsburgh International Airport. Please consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.